Okay, so given this reality that the research shows this is something that women are struggling with, what are some tips for the church? How can we take this data and use it? Well, first, we have to realize that there are few open doors for women in the church to talk about this issue. So I think you should. Make sure that there are avenues for people that they can talk to in your church or in your ministry. Because the other reality here is that there are fewer resources for women than there are for men. In fact, if you go back 20 to 30 years ago, it would have been very difficult to find a resource for women and pornography. Now, thankfully, there are quite a few. Julie Slattery, in her website about intimacy, has a number of resources for women, some excellent content. I can put the link to that in the description. But given this reality, the next tip I have for the church is let's make sure we say men and women. So this is something I learned maybe 15 years ago or so, to make sure when I'm giving a sermon or I'm giving a talk that I say men and women struggle with pornography. So don't say something like lust is a men's issue. You say lust is something that men and women struggle with. Let's normalize the reality of sin and temptation. You know, pornography has put itself digitally into the hands of young women and girls. In fact, curiosity is one of the things that leads women to go and to view pornography. If you were in middle school or high school and your friends are talking about all this sexual stuff, you don't want to be ignorant of that. It can be easy for them to run to the phone to find some of this stuff and see some of this stuff, and they can get drawn into that as well. When you have a small group or a discipleship resource, let me challenge you to invite both men and women. So we try to do that here in our ministry with college students. If we have small group integrity studies for men, we invite all the men and we invite all the women to have one as well. Ministers must be willing to ask directly to our women, and women in ministry must be willing to share vulnerably. You know, your story can be a powerful invitation for other women to step into the light and to say, you know, this is something that I'm struggling with as well. We need Christian women to take that risk, to come out and share that it's something that they've struggled with. You will open the door for so many others to come alongside of you. You know, I've got to admit, as a man, it is much easier to share my testimony. Realistically, people aren't that surprised that a man would struggle with the issue of pornography. We have got to get there with women as well, where we can normalize the reality of sin and temptation so that people can step into the light and find freedom by having others come alongside them and give them some accountability. Well, in the next episode, which releases Thursday, 9:15 a.m. Eastern, we're going to talk about how pornography impacts a Christian marriage. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you see about the issue of Christian women and pornography? Have you seen some resources that have really been helpful? Be sure to let us know in the comment section. Like this video if you found it helpful. This is Jason for Soulfire, where we want to offer gospel hope for a porn-filled world, and I will catch you in the next one.